everyone, and welcome to my very first reading vlog. So here is what I have been reading and what I am hoping to read for this vlog. I have been reading Bow Before the Elf Queen, which it has been really good. I've been listening to the audiobook, and I'm about 80% through the audiobook, and I have been really enjoying it up until this last little bit. Like, some things have happened that my table is very squeaky that I'm leaning on right now, and I've been doing my regular job. I'm going to try not to move my arms so much so that the table doesn't squeak. But so up until this last little bit of this book, I've been like, the plot is plotting. Things are a little too convenient for the main characters. So I'm not really sure how I feel about this last bit. And it's a romantasy, and I've been really enjoying the tension between the two main characters. Also, my husband just started mowing, so that's going to be in the background of this. This is very real life. I don't know. We'll see how it ends. There is another book. It's a trilogy. There's another book that's already out, and the third one is theoretically coming out soon. I saw on the author's website that they have finished, I guess, the first draft, so we'll see. So I want to finish that. I have a library book that I need to read. That's on my Kindle, and that is the second book in the Arc of a Scythe series from Neal Shusterman. So I really need to get to that one. But I want to read Starbringer, and also I am hoping to finish the For the Wolf duology. I have a copy that I bought a long time ago of For the Throne on Libro FM, and so I'd like to finish that because I just reread For the Wolf so that I could listen to For the Throne because I couldn't really remember what happened. My dog is also upset about something. He's going to be crying. He might bark at me. And so I reread For the Wolf. I feel pretty fresh on that. So I'd like to finish that duology with For the Throne. But we'll see. So that's what I'm hoping to do for this reading vlog. And I hope you'll come along with me and read with me. So it is the next day, and I have finished Bow Before the Elf Queen. I only had about an hour left yesterday when I started my reading vlog. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I liked it. I really was enjoying the first half. Maybe not even the first half, the first 3/4 was really, really good. Because it was, there was a very light fantasy plot happening. And it was about the two main characters, getting to know each other and, eventually falling in love with each other. And then the last quarter happens, and it was the author was suddenly oh, there needs to be a fantasy plot because this is a trilogy. And, some stuff happened, and I was that's just way too convenient it was just too convenient for it to make any sense. They talked about going to visit this dragon sorceress who lives in a mountain, and the entire book, the MMC was no, it's too dangerous, I'm not going to risk your life, because they were looking at ways to break their fated mates bond. And then in the last quarter, spoiler alert, in the last quarter of the book, the FMC jumps through a portal and basically lands on the dragon sorcerer's front doorstep, almost. Not quite, but almost. And then, before it was oh, well, the sorceress is so mean, she's not gonna help you, she might kill you. Then the sorceress is just owe me a favor and I'll tell you what you want to know. And I was yeah, that's too convenient. I felt for all of the buildup, there was no payoff. with that. So I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about it. I think I am going to continue reading because it left on a cliffhanger. And a cliffhanger will get me every time. But anyways, I am getting ready for the day. Oh, well, so I started For the Throne. And when I initially tried to read For the Throne, I quit reading it at about 10% because I was like, I'm really confused. I had just read For the Wolf, like, not too long before, and I felt like I had remembered, you know, a good chunk of the story. And I was reading For the Throne, and I was like, I'm so confused. I have no idea what's going on. And I just reread For the Wolf so that I could finish For the Throne. And I am still, like, just as confused. Like, nothing is really making any sense. And I'm wondering, I don't know if, like, that's the point, or if it's me, or if it's the book. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to think. And that sucks because I really like Hannah Witton's writing. And I really did enjoy For the Wolf. And I would like to know what happens, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know. So I'm like 15% of the way through that one. But I have a library book on my Kindle that I need to read. And I am leaning towards stopping reading For the Throne. Like, I feel kind of like I'm in a reading slump because I haven't read anything this month that I've, like, truly enjoyed. And I also just haven't read as much as I usually do. I mean, we've been really busy. But I don't know, just feeling kind of slumpish, and I want to read something that will make me not feel slumpish. Because that would really suck to be starting this channel and then to be in a reading slump. It is what it is. So anyways, I'm thinking about quitting reading that. And I'm thinking about listening to Starbringer because that's what I really want to listen to. Everybody's saying that it's really good. I also have some other books that I, like, should finish that I, like, paid for. I guess technically I paid for Starbringer, but it's on Scribd, so technically paid for it, but, like, not really. Anyways, I have a couple things around the house that I need to do. Like, I'm getting ready to change the sheets on the bed. I have some laundry that I need to put away. And our ceiling fan broke last night, which is a tragedy. I never turn the ceiling fan off. The ceiling fan is always on because I'm hot all the time. And I had such a hard time sleeping last night because the ceiling fan was not on. It's okay. I've hated the ceiling fan ever since we moved into this house. I think it's hideous. Look at it. I just think that isn't a super ugly ceiling fan, and I've always hated it. So I'm glad to be getting rid of it. But that means I have to go to Lowe's today and buy a new one. And then my husband and I are going to install it this afternoon. And the last time we tried to install a ceiling fan, one of us ended up crying. It is really difficult to install light fixtures with your partner. Not to mention that, like, physically it's kind of difficult because, like, that's really high up. And, like, one of you has to hold it, the other one has to do the wires. And it's hard, like, holding something above your head. So, anyways, so I'm going to do that. I am going to film a video. I need to get some other stuff done for my other job, a real job, one that actually pays me money. And then I would like to read. And my husband is going out of town tomorrow. He's getting ready to go to Ireland for work. So that means I will have loads of free time next week. It takes a lot of focus to draw on your eyebrows. And if I wasn't filming today, I wouldn't bother. Because I'm just running errands. I'm not trying to, I don't know. I don't do a full face every day, but it looks better on camera. Anywho, so yeah, I'm thinking about DNFing For the Throne. Like, I'm just not enjoying it. It probably isn't the best very first reading vlog, but it is what it is. So I am going to put clean sheets in my bed put some clothes away, dry my hair, and then I'm going to run some errands. I might go ahead and go to Sephora and pick up another one of these. I'm going to, I think I'm going to attempt to power through. No, I'm not. Because this is my philosophy about reading books. I don't do anything. Like, I don't read anything that's not immediately bringing me happiness. Like, if I'm not into it, I'm not going to read it. And I'm not into For the Throne right now, so I'm going to stop reading it. And that's fine. I don't understand people who, like, don't DNF books. Like, I'm not saying I'm not going to finish this book, but I'm not enjoying it right now, and so I'm not going to read it right now. Like, life is way too short to read a book that you're not enjoying. So I think I'm going to switch audiobooks. I think I'm going to try Starbringer. So I'm going to start Starbringer. And I will be back later with an update. I don't even remember what my last update was. I think it was yesterday morning. Yesterday turned out to be a pretty bonkers day. There is fiber optics going in our neighborhood. And at about 4 o'clock, the fiber optics guys hit the power. Our power is run underground for our neighborhood. So our power was out like until 9 o'clock last night. But because our power was out, I got a lot of reading done. I'm about 20% of the way through Starbringer. And I'm liking it so far. It's multi-POV. And right now I think there's 4 POVs, but there's kind of a lot of characters for being people stuck on a ship together. A spaceship. But I'm liking it so far. So yeah, there's not too much to say about that. The main plot point, like what has brought them all together, has happened. Basically, they were all kind of on the same ship for various reasons. The ship exploded, they ended up together, and now they are escaping the explosion on a much smaller ship together. And one of them is a princess. 2 of them are like wanted on all the planets. One of them is a high priestess of this like special religious sect, and her like bodyguard. And then there's kind of a strange character who is somebody who was on the ship but was being experimented on, so I'm not really sure what their deal is. Spoiler, I guess. I'm enjoying it. We'll see where it goes. I just dropped off my husband at the airport. He's going to Ireland for work, so I will be free to listen to my audiobook out loud. Not that I'm not when he is home, but he likes to watch TV, so I usually have headphones on if I'm going to listen to it. But anyway, so since he's out of town, I like to have a project to do while he's gone. So I have some, and usually that involves doing something where I can listen to an audiobook. I also decided that since I had the library book borrowed from the library, I needed to read the next book in the Arc of a Scythe series. I think this one's called The Thunderhead. I'm really liking it so far. I enjoyed the first Arc of a Scythe book, which was just called Scythe, by Neal Shusterman. I did that one as an audiobook, and that was when I had an Audible subscription, and that's the only place that you can get the audiobook for that one. My local library does not have a copy of the audiobook. So I'm doing the Kindle version for this one, and I'm really enjoying it. I forgot how Neal Shusterman is like, it's really easy to read. Like, it's a really fleshed out world. He's not overly flowery or anything like that with his language, but his books are always, like, this is the 3rd book of his that I've read. I read Unwind, which I didn't know was a series when I read it. And that one, I don't know that I'm going to continue reading that series because that one was like really kind of gruesome. And I think it's a YA, which it does not read like a YA because it's so dark. And this one, I feel like this one is also a YA, but it is also very dark. And it doesn't read like a YA. I think it's in the YA category simply because the characters are like just barely 18. But anyways, I'm about 20% of the way through The Thunderhead, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very easy to read, so I am excited to continue reading that. I feel like my reading slump is getting better, so I will check back in when I have some more progress to report. Okay, it has been a couple of hours. That's what it feels like. It's really only been like maybe an hour and a half. I might DNF Starbringer. Everything was fine. Like, the characters are fine. Like, I felt like I hadn't really gotten far enough in to like have a full judgment of how I felt about the characters yet, but I'm 30% in now. And okay, spoiler alert if you're reading this book and you don't want to know. So it's this group of people stuck on a ship, like a spaceship. And, you know, two of the characters are, one is a princess, one is like resident bad boy, you know, gruff guy. And immediately, you know, like when they saw each other, they were like, oh, he's hot. And she was like, oh, she's hot. And I was like, okay, great. But as soon, okay, so like the ship that they were on just exploded. They're on this tiny ship that they don't know how to fly. They've survived said explosion, and they find themselves in a room by themselves and like immediately almost kiss. And I was like, I'm sorry. I realize that this is like a sci-fi fantasy. I understand this is not real, but you just met. The ship you were on blew up, and the princess, in her case, I'm pretty sure her friend died, like her best friend died in the explosion, yet you found a way to purposely find yourself in a room alone with this guy, and you're gonna kiss each other. It just feels really forced, and I was reading that, and I like out loud, I was like, no. That doesn't make any sense. It was kind of cringy. I don't know. And then there is a high priestess and someone who used to be a prisoner who has been experimented on, and they are immediately like, let's have a thing too. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. You guys, like, there's no water on this ship. None of you have like bathed, but here we are trying to make out with everybody. Like, there's no food. There's no water. There's no like way to take a bath. Everybody stinks. You were in an explosion, but yet, let's kiss. I don't know. It just feels a little silly. I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep trucking along, but it just, I don't know. Now I'm feeling like The Breakfast Club meets Firefly is a little, like, that's what it says on the dust jacket. They lied. That's what I think. Or maybe not, because honestly, The Breakfast Club can be a little cringy. So, like, maybe it's not. Maybe it is The Breakfast Club. And this was also marketed as adult, so we'll see. It's a little wild. It's just a little wild. I had to record these thoughts for you. Oh my God. So here is yet another update from my dining room table. I am so annoyed at this Starbringer book. Oh my God. I'm almost done. I'm listening to the audiobook on 2.5 times speed because I just want to be done with it. I have an hour and 40 minutes left. And I want to rip my hair out. This book is trash. Like, sometimes I like to read a book that is poorly written and like the world building sucks, but like I'm enjoying it, and this is not one of those times. The world building is garbage. The characters, hate them. There's one character that I like, and that's Rain, and I don't like any of the other ones. I don't like the insta-love setting with the romance. I hate that. I've never read an insta-love trope before, but I can firmly tell you, I hate it. It is the worst. And I'm sorry if you like it, but I hate it. I'm so mad. I want to finish this book. I paid $25 for this book at Barnes & Noble. Thank God it was $5 off. I am angry. And what is worse is that this was marketed as like The Breakfast Club meets sci-fi. Like, excuse me, the slander of The Breakfast Club. Oh my God. Do not read this book. It is hot garbage. It is a waste of your time. Spoiler if you are going to read this. I have an hour and a half-ish left. One of the characters who has been on this spaceship the entire time and who has seen all of the stuff that's happened the entire time suddenly knows everything about everything and knows exactly what the Empire has been planning the whole time. Like, you could have started there. You could have started with that. Like, that, I just read that part and I'm so mad. I'm pissed off. This reading vlog has been hot garbage because of the hot garbage books I've been reading. Thank God the Thunderhead is good, but I'm really busy. I've been busy the past couple of days, so I haven't had time to like sit down and read that one because it's on my Kindle. I'm so pissed. I'm so pissed. Oh my God. I'm angry. And I was just reading the reviews, and they are spot on. The bad reviews are spot on. I understand the people who've given this 5 stars, but there's a lot of DNFs on here. I've seen a couple of 5-star reviews where it's obvious the person hasn't read the book. They're just like leaving a 5-star review and saying, oh, I'm so excited to read this. How dare you? How dare you leave a review? Like, that is so wrong to me. So I don't like that either. I hate that almost as much as I hate insta-love, apparently. Oh my God. And then, okay, so like, and then there's like third act miscommunication between 2 of the insta-lovers. God, it makes my skin crawl. I can't stand it. And this is marketed as adult or new adult. And they can't like talk to each other and be honest. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. When you have a problem with somebody and they do something that upsets you, you talk to them about it. Like, I can't deal with the miscommunication. Oh my God. I want to quit so bad, but I'm almost done and I want to finish a book because this month has been a terrible reading month for me. I need to do something to boost my serotonin. So I got some book mail. I'm pretty sure I know what this is because I ordered it. I have been on the hunt for months for all of the Mirror Visitor Quartet books. I wanted them in hardback. I like to close that. I like to read a book, and then if I really like it, I will get a copy as like a trophy for my bookshelf. So I read all of these on Scribd. And this is the only I managed to find the first one in a hardback. I think it's even a first edition hardback at McKay's. And then one of them I think I got from Pango Books. One of them I got from Thrift Books. And this is the second one that I found on Thrift Books. This was a library book, and it is in surprisingly really good condition. And I want to take this plastic off, but I also kind of like the plastic. Ooh, this is different plastic than what was on the other one. So the other one, the plastic was really easy to get off. This one, possibly not so much because of this big old, there's a big old sticker. This came from a library in California. Look, it even has this like old library card in it that nobody filled out. That would have been really fun if somebody had filled that out. Oh, this is like the chip that they put in library books so you can't steal it. I need some scissors. Anyways, okay. I'm not gonna futz with this right now. I will futz with it over here though. Is this stuck on here? I don't think I can get this off without potentially damaging my book, so I guess I'll leave it on. Anyways, I love to get books secondhand, and I really like thrift books. So I am tickled with this. And I like that all of my books kind of have their own like special little story. I'm excited to go put that on my bookshelf. That makes me feel a little bit better about the hot garbage trash books that I've been writing. I really loved the Mirror Visitor Quartet. It was really cute. It was very whimsical. What's interesting is so it was originally written in France. The author is French. And then it was translated into English. And in France, these were marketed as adult books. And here they're YA. They're not YA. It's very complex. The world is very complex. I would say it's not for everybody. It's very like complex and cool and whimsical. A little Studio Ghibli. And I don't know. I don't think they're for everybody, but they were for me. I really liked them. But now I have all of the Mirror Visitor Quartet. So I can go put this on my bookshelf upstairs with all of the others. And I'm very glad to have a full set. I just wish that this plastic wasn't stuck to the cover, and then I could remove it without it potentially ruining the cover. That sucks, but whatever. So I am expecting some more book mail, so hopefully I'll get to open that. It should come today. So close to DNFing this book. I don't want to read any more of it. I do not like it. I do not like it. But I like the Mirror Visitor Quartet, so that's good. So I am finally in a new location. I am in the car. I am getting ready to go pick out tile. My husband and I are having our bathroom redone, and I have to go to the place and pick out the tile that I want. So that's not happening until like November, but I want to go ahead and get this done and out of the way so that it's done and out of the way. I think I'm going to continue listening to Starbringer because I only have an hour and a half left and I want to finish it. I have already formulated my thoughts. I don't think there's anything that could happen in this last hour and a half that could change my opinion. This book sucks. But I want to finish something for this reading vlog, so by God, I'm going to finish this book if it kills me. So I have my coffee for the trip, and I'm going to go pick out tile. So it is the next day, and I did finish Starbringer. I will have hopefully some cohesive thoughts about it for the end of this vlog, but I wanted to update you all on the Thunderhead, the library book from my Kindle I've been reading, the Neal Shusterman. So I am 70% of the way through this book, and it has been very good. It's not as wild as the first one. It is, but it's not necessarily like suffering from second book syndrome. Like, it's not bad. I am reading it and I want to read it.
It's been a little bit more, I don't know, it's been a little bit more like kind of character focused on like what the characters are doing. But right at 50%, shit hit the fan. Like, things got real wild, and they have not really like stopped being wild. And so I'm really enjoying it. I have 30% done, and I am hoping that I will finish it today, and that I will be able to close out this reading vlog with having finished 2 out of the 3 books. Well, technically 3 out of the 4 books that I set out to finish. Goose is eating his food right now, so you can hear that in the background. He decided that right now was a good time to eat, and he's a very noisy eater, so. Anyway, so I'm really enjoying the Thunderhead, and I went ahead and put my hold on for the last book in this series called The Toll, and that should be in a couple weeks. I'm like number 7 in line for that one, so hopefully it won't be too long. In another reading vlog, you'll see me complete the series, hopefully, because who doesn't love completing a series? I have started, I don't know how many series, but like I haven't finished them. I don't know what the deal is. I think maybe that's what I want to do for like the second half of this year, is I want to try to like finish some series. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying the Neal Shusterman, and I got this one down to look at it because I have a physical copy of it. Part of what prompted me to even read this series was I found a physical like hardback copy that was signed and personalized. Like this one was signed and personalized by Neal Shusterman. I'll get it out and show it to you, which I thought was so cool. I found it secondhand for like $10, and I was like, hell yeah! I love a signed book. I should do a video about all of the books that I have that are signed. I found a signed copy of Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson at McKay's for like $14. That was a steal. Signed first edition hardback Oathbringer. I have not read that series, but I bought that book. But anyways, yeah, that would be a fun video to show off all my signed books. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying the Arquebusade series. And that has been the one redeeming thing about this reading vlog. So yeah. Okay, so welcome to my messy dining room table, books, computer, microphones. This is my copy of Thunderhead, and it's signed. Can't read his handwriting. 2018. And I feel like this is also a first edition. Yes, first edition right there. So I think that's really cool. I found it secondhand for $9.50, which pretty good in my book. It does have some, like, there's some issues with it. It's not perfect. And this cover is like a almost like construction paper-esque, so it's like, I don't know, it's losing some color. But there it is. I am currently still trying to find the best place in the house to film. And I think it's getting ready to storm. So things might get really weird. I am finally ready to wrap up this reading vlog. So let's go over the four books that I either read or DNF'd during this reading vlog. The first book that I read or finished, I had already started this when I started the vlog. I was at about 80% when I finished, and when I started this vlog, and I finished this pretty quickly into the beginning of this. This is Bow Before the Elf Queen. I liked this. I didn't love it. I really liked the first half because I was really focused on the characters. The characters were really great. But the second half, not even the second half, like the last quarter of the book, like really killed it for me. It was not great, but it did end on a cliffhanger. So I don't know. I think I'm going to keep reading this because I love a cliffhanger and I have to know what happens. So I liked it, but I didn't love it. Basically, we follow our main character. The prologue opens with When she is born, her parents have to take her to the Fae King. She is a Fae. Have to take her to the Fae King, and they test every baby that's born in the land for magic. And it turns out she has magic, and so the king immediately bonds her to his son, who was 3 years old at the time, and basically it's like a mate bond, like they're then mated together. But her mom is like absolutely not, manages to like run away with her, get her out of the castle, gives her to a friend of hers, and her parents, both of the parents, then end up being killed for their crimes, and the friend manages to escape to the human lands with Leala, the main character. And so when we meet Leala again, she is like 24-ish, and the prince who she is mated to finds her and takes her back to the castle. And from there, they sort of fall in love. She wants to break their mate bond because she's like, I didn't choose this. This isn't what I want. And he's like, you know what? If you can figure out a way to do it, fine. Secretly, he's been in love with her for a long time. Anyways, so I really enjoyed like the development of the characters and the development of their romance. If it had just been about that, that would have been great. Like, I would have really enjoyed this. I felt like the characters were really good. I did get kind of annoyed about halfway through with Leala, the main character, because she was like, I think I'm in love with him, but oh no, I can't, you know? And I'm like, just like, you know, I don't know. That did get a little annoying, but I was invested in their story. And then just like some of the fantasy plot elements, they could have been cool if they just felt like an afterthought to me, and I didn't like that. So this was good. I think that I would continue reading this. I really like the way this book feels. Like, it's like a soft touch, matte, I don't know, that's a weird thing to like, but if you could feel it, I'm sure you would like it too. And I feel like it's a good size. Like, it's bigger than a mass market paperback, but it's not like huge. Anyways, I'm off topic. So that's that on that. The next book that I attempted to read but DNF'd was For the Throne. I'm wondering if I would like this better if I read a physical version. I listened to the audiobook for the Wolf, but I'm wondering if I could make more sense if I could actually, like, if I actually physically read this. So this isn't like a full DNF. It's a soft DNF, just because I want to finish this. Like, I want to be done with this duology. I want to like wrap up a series. That's like a really good feeling. But I just was so confused. Like, there's more, it's multi-POV in this one, and it wasn't really multi-POV in the first one. It sort of was, but not really. And I just don't like it as much. I just don't like it as much, and it's really confusing, and I don't understand what's going on. And this one focuses more on Neve, the older sister, and I did not like her in the first book. So, I don't know. We'll see. It was a soft DNF. I might continue, but I will say this has really cool artwork on it. I like this book design. The next book that I finished that I should have DNF'd. I did not like this. This was terrible. This might be the worst book that I have read all year. Actually, in 2 years. And that's saying something, because I have read some bad books on purpose. And I wish that I had DNF'd this one. This, I think, is getting ready to thunderstorm because Bailey is laying under the desk and she is panting. So if you hear panting, it's Bailey. This was so bad. It had potential to be really, really good, and it was not. I did not like the love connection between the characters. It was insta-love. It felt too forced. I didn't like that they immediately fell in love, and then there was like third act breakup, miscommunication. I did not like that. I didn't like that sometimes like the characters or the author tried to make the characters like funny or ditzy or whatever, and that just did not come across well.
I did not enjoy the audiobook. The narrators were fine, but like they were just okay. I did not like the beginning of this book was okay. And then it got to like the main event was pretty good. And then from there, the book just slogged. It was just so boring to get through. But I would have rather read that than read the third act, like, craziness that happened. It could have ended probably 50 pages before it did. I didn't like that one of the characters who had been there the whole time, saw everything else that all the other characters went through at the very end, you know, about like 2 hours from the end of the audiobook, was like, oh, surprise, I've known this big secret this whole time. Like, that would have saved a ton of time. Like, no, absolutely not. This was hot garbage. I hated this, and I am mad that I didn't DNF it. I didn't like it, and I very rarely have strong feelings about a book. Like, if I don't like something, I'm like, oh, I don't like it. It's fine. Like, it's fine, but it's just not for me. This was terrible. It was bad. This is a bad book. Hot garbage. And then finally, I haven't updated as much about this one because Starbringer was so bad that it overshadowed this one until today. I finished this one today, and oh my god, chef's kiss. This was spectacular. I will admit, it started a little slow for me. It took up until about 40% of the way through, and then at 40%, it really started to pick up, and I was like, wait a minute. And then at 50%, right? And I was like, holy cow, I cannot believe this. And then the ending of this, oh my god, there was like small things that Neal Shusterman had been laying the groundwork for in the first book and in this one, just like little tiny, just little drops. They felt so insignificant, and then the ending happened, and I was like, oh my god. It like, I was like full circle. It brought everything back around. Things like clicked. I didn't even know they were gonna click. This was so good, and I think I liked this better than the first book. And that is not something that I think I have ever said about a series. I rarely like the second book as much as I like the first book. This was phenomenal. I cannot wait to get my Kindle hold, my Libby hold for the third book. I don't know if I'm going to be able to wait. I might buy it just because I need to know what happens. And this was so good. So in the first book, you're in this sort of fantasy, but like almost sci-fi. Like, it feels more like a blend of sci-fi fantasy. You're in this world where people don't die anymore. They've eradicated diseases. Basically, the world is run by an AI called the Thunderhead, and it's this wonderful, benevolent leader. And in order to combat like population control, it didn't create, but alongside its creation, the Scythedom was created, and Scythes are a special group of people who are responsible for population control, and they perform gleanings, which is where they kill people, essentially. Neal Shusterman is very dark. He loves to write a dark story. So you meet the Honorable Scythe Faraday, and he takes on two apprentices, Rowan and Citra, and teaches them how to be scythes. Things happen. Things spiral out of control. The middle of the first Scythe book, I read it, and I got to the middle, and I was like, excuse me, how does this book continue past this point? Because, like, spoilers, things happen, okay? Things happen, but then they didn't really happen. And I don't want to talk too much about it because, I guess, spoilers. In the middle of it, Scythe Faraday supposedly self-gleans. He, like, kills himself while Citra and Rowan are still his apprentices. And then Rowan gets, Scythe Goddard, who is the bad guy, takes on Rowan, and Scythe Marie Curie, who is wonderful, takes on Citra. And there's this whole thing. I read it a year ago, so I don't really remember all the details, but like, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. But the ending, I was like, holy cow, wow, it was a really good book. And then I was like, I'm gonna wait a little bit. And I waited so long, and this was so good. So from this, you're still following Rowan and Citra, but you're also following kind of like the thoughts of the Thunderhead. The name, the Thunderhead, which is funny because it just thundered. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it's thundering. So you're following the thoughts of the Thunderhead, and it's wild to like, because it's an AI, and Neal Shusterman does such a good job of like writing as if he was an AI, which is like, I don't know, that seems like, well, yeah, why wouldn't he be able to, but like, I don't know, it was so cool. And then, whoa, this was such a good book. I have to read more of Neal Shusterman now. Like, I'm obviously going to finish this series. I can't wait to see what happens. And like the character development was great. I like love the characters, and I'm fully behind their motivations. And I'm like, I feel like this is also something that's rare. I don't really like men writing women. I just feel like sometimes there's something that's like lost, or men like put their like own personal views about women into their characters, and sometimes it like really does not work. Neal Shusterman knows what he is doing. Like Citra, I love her character. She becomes Scythe Anastasia. I love the characters, and I love Marie Curie, Scythe Marie Curie. Like, it's so good. And like even one of the bad guys who's Scythe Ayn Rand, even she was like, there were some things about her that I didn't like, but it felt believable for her character, what Neal Shusterman wrote about her. It felt believable. I am so glad to be finishing this this reading vlog on such a high note. This was so good, and I cannot wait to read more of this series and from Neal Shusterman. So I think I might be a Neal Shusterman fan. And this is like the list of all of the books he's written. Holy crap, there's a ton of books. There's one series called the Skinjacker Trilogy, which I'm like, I need to know what that is immediately. It sounds disgusting, which Neal Shusterman is great at writing something that's totally gross. So, that is it for this reading vlog. This was a little spicy because I had some really big thoughts and feelings this week with some of these books. I had lots of thoughts, lots and lots of feelings. Not all of them were great, but the Thunderhead really turned this around. Really, Neal Shusterman saved the day. So, if you want to see more videos from me, please feel free to check out everything else that I have up on my channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.